Thank you, Carol. One of the things you have to be careful of is when you have a politician announces he's not running again. He sometimes takes opportunities like this to pontificate a little bit, so I apologize. And you never experienced that with Dennis Avery, I know. and this relates to Bank On Evansville, but just a little bit of an aside. I was in a economic development discussion group, I guess it was Monday, and they were reviewing a survey done of business leaders and here in the Evansville area. And one of the things they talked about is how, well, there's no innovation. You know, we think so poorly of ourselves. And the thing that struck me is, well, wait a minute. I mean, Bank On Evansville, isn't that innovative? Isn't that progressive? Isn't that an example of where we have taken an idea in its infancy? Of course, it started in San Francisco, but took that idea and really created a strong model for the rest of the nation to follow, right here in Evansville. I mean, I think that's a great example of how innovative we are as a community to make sure that we're working together to solve the issues and challenges that we face here in Evansville. But with that being said, as Carol mentioned, at the end of the first year, we had opened 1,139 accounts. We had almost reached our 2-year goal of 1,200 accounts. So you would think that, well, we'd like to think we exceeded 1,200. Well, we actually exceeded it by 60%. December 2010, we had opened 1,930 bank accounts. That's 730 more, or 730 more than our goal that we had set after 2 years. And more importantly, the average balance on these accounts is $470, which isn't just a small pocket of change, it's a substantial amount of money. That's the average balance in those accounts. You know, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of people that made this happen. Obviously, United Way has played a strong leadership role. Patty Avery and Old National Bank in taking the lead, but frankly, all of our financial institutions have participated, and I am very proud of the work that they have done to make this so successful. They are Banterra Bank, Diamond Valley Federal Credit Union, Evansville Commerce Bank, Evansville Federal Credit Union, Evansville Teachers Federal Credit Union, Fifth Third Bank, First Federal Savings Bank, First Security Bank, German American Bank, Heritage Federal Credit Union, Integra Bank, Old National Bank, Sterling United Federal Credit Union, and United Bank. And with that, I'd like to introduce Patty Avery to introduce Matthew Pittman from the U.S. Department of Treasury. Patty.
So as Mayor Weinzapfel said, we have more than exceeded our 2-year goal, but that's not enough for Bank On Evansville. What's next is that we'll continue to assist Bank On Indiana. We played a very a primary role in the establishment of Bank On Indiana through the State Treasurer's Office. After Bank On Bloomington's launch tomorrow, we'll have 7 Indiana communities doing Bank On. And we'll continue to assist those and other Hoosier communities in getting Bank On rolling. But we'll also help when we get the call. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was on a call with Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So we never know who we're going to be able to help with the experience that we gained. You know, when we started, we could only pick up the phone and call San Francisco. That was it. We were the 3rd community in the country to launch this program. But now, because we were at the forefront, because we were in the lead, other communities call us. But the beauty of this moment in the Bank On initiative is now other communities are approaching having 1 year under their belts. Now we can turn to those communities and look at the innovative things that they're doing. We were just at a roundtable in Louisville this morning, and they've built a great structure for moving it forward. So what we see coming this next year for Bank On Evansville is looking to re-energize our financial institution partners, our community partners, get everybody back to the table and say, okay, this is wonderful. We've opened over 1,900 accounts. Now what next? And just like as we all came to the table to figure it out 2 years ago, I'm confident that we'll look at these clients that we have begun to work with and understand their needs. And certainly the social service agencies, as their clients have experienced Bank On, I believe that as we come back together, we'll see some new pathways, some new things that we want to develop in the way of financial education or even potentially additional products. So we're very much looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to being a part of Bank On USA. And with that, we'll introduce Matt Pippin, who, as the mayor said, is a financial opportunity specialist with the U.S. Department of Treasury.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to all of you that have come today. That all of us share a commitment to trying to improve the lives of working families by providing financial access opportunities. Unfortunately, as all of us know, about 1 in 4 of all Indiana families are either unbanked or underbanked. Unbanked, they don't have an account, or underbanked, they may have an account but they don't use it enough. And unfortunately, unbanked and underbanked individuals miss out on opportunities that all of us, many of us take for granted, like opportunities to save, invest, whether it's for a down payment on our first home or a child's college education, or even able to just cash a check without a fee. So thank you for all of that, the work that you've done, and I look forward to working with you as we continue to develop Bank On USA. The Bank On approach of inclusive community coalitions composed of local and state governments, financial institutions, trusted community partners and leaders, and financial education providers has been a successful method in helping improve the lives of working families. The Bank On movement that Treasury is working to support is intended to build upon and enhance local community collaborative efforts. This will empower more Americans with access to safe and appropriate financial services and products, and access to high quality, relevant, and meaningful financial education and information. This effort will include several components that will bring people together and into the financial mainstream and promote the development of consumer-friendly products. Bank On USA was authorized by the Dodd-Frank Consumer Protection and Wall Street Reform Act last year. And Treasury is working to help develop the infrastructure tools needed to assist community-based financial service collaborative efforts like Bank On Evansville, intended to help meet the financial service needs of their communities. Currently, we are working to build the infrastructure of Bank On USA in the financial access field by preparing a report summarizing the current state of the field and case studies of some of the existing initiatives, developing community needs assessment tools and resources, enhancing delivery methods to share effective approaches, ideas, and other information, attempting to develop common data points and data collection strategies. Additionally, we are currently examining how best to use pilots, awards, and competitions to create new products, services, develop new channels for reaching communities, and to determine what is effective. President Obama's budget for fiscal year 2012 includes $41.7 million to try to further move the Bank On movement forward. More details will be announced, as we get closer to hopefully having, additional resources and news to announce. The financial access and financial education opportunities that are provided through Bank On are important, but it also is important to have adequate consumer protections. And that's why the new consumer protection regulator will provide additional opportunities to make sure that working families are protected from practices that are questionable and often predatory. But that's why, in this current environment, Bank-Ons are so important to ensure that people have access to quality, affordable financial services. So thank you for all that you do, and we look forward to working with you as we continue to develop the national program, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Any questions?
I would imagine there's a whole lot of different reasons why someone seeks out the Bank of Evansville program, but a handful of folks that I've talked to over the past couple of years say it's simple. I can understand it. I have confidence in it. Is that kind of what you've gotten, or do you get all sorts of different responses from folks as to why they're successful?
You want us to go to your
Yes.
last thing? Dave, I really like hearing those comments because those were our goals. Our goals were to improve access first by bringing on board a significant number of our financial institutions. With 15 banks and credit unions participating, really everyone in the Evansville area has easy access to a financial institution where they can go open an account. The goal of Bank On was to create a pathway. We did that in large measure by partnering with our financial institutions to create that second chance. That's what people needed. And we've, as you said, we've done that. We're working to provide the financial education that people need to succeed with those accounts. Because many people have had an account in the past, had difficulty, and then couldn't resolve it, and they've been afraid to come back. Well, to address that barrier, we've created the financial education effort to equip them, as I said, to successfully manage the account. So our goal is to build on all of that, to keep it simple, to keep it effective, and to deliver a tool that will really improve people's lives. The thing that sold me on the Bank On model was when I was out interviewing agencies in Evansville, and Lynn Imes told me that she had clients who were spending $75 a month on check cashing and check writing. When I was a single mom, that was 2 weeks of groceries for my son and me. That is money in the gas tank. It's money for the grocery store. It's what can pay the rent and keep you from being evicted. So that's why we as a community embraced it, because it met so many of our other community goals, the United Way financial stability goals, even the early childhood goals, because without financial stability in a family, a child can't thrive. So we saw it as a natural complement even to the 10-year plan in homelessness. So I think that's why we all came together to do it, and I think that's the energy that's going to keep it moving forward.
Does the budget, what happens with the 41.7 million or whatever, does that then determine the pilot's awards and competition, as Matthew said? And whether you survey the folks and how much you expand or what you do?
The work of Bank On USA has begun, and we've utilized existing resources and resources that have previously been appropriated, for the infrastructure development work. The prize awards and competitions are under development, and we believe we'll be able to use or create those using existing resources. The additional, a significant portion of the additional money, it has always been intended that a grant program would be created, and a grant program that would provide opportunities for communities to build on, expand, and further develop their local bank-ons.
And I think as we move Bank On Evansville forward, obviously we won't wait for the 2012 budget to be finalized. I think we'll, again, as we did when we started, we'll look at our resources, we'll look to our partners, and we'll come together to bring the resources to the table that we need to move Bank On Evansville forward.
And I think, just to kind of add to that too, I think this is truly a great example of community collaboration, because when you think about how we started and everyone came to the table and they brought not only their human resources but financial resources to get this off the ground, to be able to publicize it, to get the word out to people that this existed, and then to have those financial education classes. And we have just seen, I think, tremendous support from all the partners to make sure that this is successful with a very small budget to really work with. But it's because we're all willing to contribute something to this that has made it as successful as it has been.
Well, thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. And for those of you who are staying for the meeting with Matt, we'll get that underway shortly.
Thank you.